Oh, look who we have here. We have someone whose handwriting is very similar to a couple of artists that I noticed.
I've also been Michael Jackson, Jackson Pollock, Monkeypox. I've been it all. I'm everyone at once.
Hello, Methuselah. It's nice to see you.
Hello, Pollock's reaction was great.
Merlin, Flint.
I'm a fan of Lazarus myself.
I like he's Merlin. He's also Merlin.
Yeah.
A what? Are you Harry Potter? What the hell's going on here?
I think some of those he's just making up. Like you weren't really Alexander the Great. You're just we don't have any way to verify that. So.
He just started throwing out names. He's actually only just one of them.
M4 versus M5. Who wins? Says, I wonder if Flint was also called Ulysses at one point. Who's also in our audience. The question is M4 versus M5. Who wins? I think M5 wins. M5.
It depends. Is M5 hooked up to a Constitution class starship or not?
That's right. It is.
Because otherwise, it's M4.
That's true.
And also, it all depends if Spock's just round the corner.
Yeah, he'll blast your ass if you act up.
Ulysses the Pagan said he enjoyed our coming home video for Discovery. Thank you so much for watching that. It's very cool. We appreciate that very much. Well, we're back here on another exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today we're focused on Star Trek the Original Series, Season 3, Episode 19, Requiem for Methuselah. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good.
I'm pretty good myself.
Enjoying my Saturday / Catterday.
Second day off for having 10 days off work, so I'm not going to complain too much.
Nice. Oh, nice. You doing anything fun?
I'll show you later, but I've done a couple of builds today, and I'm gonna be doing a bigger build this week, but I'll show you later.
Cool.
Right on. I like this new mic angle that you've got going on with the upside down.
Yeah,
mic
cool. You all gave me some advice, and I took it, and thankfully I had some money in my Patreon account, and it's paid for it, so it's always helped improve my channel as well as your good self. So, and anything I can get improvements on. So yeah,
your voice
always up for.
Voice quality sounds great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, excellent. So the episode summary for this episode: Enterprise has a outbreak of Rigelian fever, so they find deposits of it on this planet. They need what was it called? Rigelium? What was it called?
The virus, the Rigelian
fever.
Plague?
What was the thing that they needed? The crystals.
Ritalin.
Thank you. Yeah. So they find deposits of Ritalin,
and they had to go to the Omega system, but I found out that Shatner says Omega. Sometimes he has like the weird Canadian pronunciations, as Starfleet Boy loves to point out.
Yes, and I loved him saying Omega instead of Omega. It was great. Now I'm going to say Omega.
It's like James Bond wears an Omega watch, but I mean, people in America would pronounce it Omega. Or the Time Lord Omega in Doctor Who.
No, that you say Omega.
Whatever.
Oh my god. We need to go to oh my god system.
I've never heard someone say Omega. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Omega.
I'll check with Brian.
Gay Raj.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he says he's Omega.
Who says that?
Omega says it.
They don't say that in the show. They say Omega.
I'm pretty sure it's Omega.
Okay.
Just slow it. You need to slow it. Go. Oh my god!
Wait, Ian, are you a Whovian? Do you watch classic Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Do you remember the character? Is it?
He's one of the evil Time Lords.
Yeah.
Not the
He's
master.
He's actually one of the original. He was there with Rassilon when they created the singularity that is at the heart of Gallifrey.
I'm just going to give away my age now. I've been watching Doctor Who since John Pertwee. So, yeah.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. But no, yeah. I'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it's Omega. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I say sabotage, so whatever. But anyways,
that says it all, really.
They meet this man Flint, who claims he could, just dispatch them really easily, no problem. They have a few words, and then
kill a robot with me.
Yeah, and then when Spock mentions something about suffering, it softens him for some reason, and so he decides, well, I'll give you this right talon, come in and chill out, and then we meet his partner,
Robo-wife,
Reyna, who has no emotions until she meets Captain Kirk and falls in love. And
Same with me, man. Story of my life.
Captain Kirk awakens her humanity somehow, which leads to a lot of crazy moments, including while they're trying to get the right talon processed, but including Kirk and Flint going at it. At the end, unfortunately, Reyna dies of love, because
Spoiler
she not
alert.
only is awakened by love, but she also dies for love because she doesn't have it in her to break Flint's heart or Kirk's heart. So then the two men are once again alone. Flint admits that he's actually thousands of years old, and that he's what we know on Earth as Alexander the Great, Methuselah, Merlin, Brahms even, and as Ruben pointed out, Tina Turner and Michael Jackson.
You're garbage, man.
I was your garbage.
I played Michael Myers in the original Halloween and in the Rob Zombie remake.
Which Spock had been figuring out the whole time, because we didn't know Spock had such a profound knowledge of the arts, and all the way down to Brahms's handwriting. But anyways, and then Father, maybe you caught this, but for some reason he's no longer immortal. Also, he's now mortal. Flint,
because he left Earth. All the
right, but didn't he
everything to
leave
do
Earth
with
a long time ago?
Yeah, so I think it's a slow process. He'll
Right,
slowly
they just figured it out,
age
yeah.
and die, but I think a lot of that's very nebulous. This episode it's very weird. There's a lot of weird things that don't really fit together.
wait, I gotta finish. Let me just say the last thing. So then,
No,
Spock,
you don't get to finish. You take too long.
Spock out of some twisted sense of pity, erases Captain Kirk's mind of.
Where's that twisted?
Reyna.
That's the best. That's the best thing in this episode.
Well, it's we could talk about it because it's what this episode's I simultaneously love it and I was perplexed by it. It was such a weird episode, but
And
that
he
was
says,
a
"Forget."
perfect example of that.
Yeah,
Is
I
that a
love
good
that.
thing, or is
that's-
Spock going around mind forgetting people all the time, just taking stuff from people's rooms and then where's
But
my DVD of the Batman? Forget.
Every time Kirk wins at chess, and he's like, "Forget."
Kirk wins every time, 9 out of 10 times, but he's forget.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that thing, because for me that seemed weird to me. I always thought this was really cool and really sweet, and I love Spock doing it. I love that conversation with McCoy when McCoy is you stupid Vulcan, you computer brain, cold-hearted, you'll never understand love. You can't understand what your friend is going through. And then when Spock has that reaction on his face where he's I do understand all of that stuff. And I'm the one who's constantly denying myself all of this. And then he does Kirk you could argue did he have the moral high ground in doing it, but he still did it, right? That's what happened. But it made me wonder why was this the one that Kirk couldn't get over? Shouldn't it have been Edith Keeler?
Well, yeah, that's the problem with the episode, really.
But then I was
problem.
oh, what if Spock does this every time Kirk falls in love? Maybe Spock does this.
right.
Who says he didn't do that with Edith Keeler?
So here's a twist. Could you imagine it if it was Wrath of Khan and he's gone, remember? And Mike's going, bitch, those ones you made me forget.
Yeah.
I want to show now, Kurtzman, if you're listening, Star Trek Kirk, where Kirk remembers all the girls that Spock made him forget and goes on a revenge mission to hunt down Spock.
Search for Spock. I'm going to kill him.
Wow, there's some quite a few good comments over here. So, first of all, Kirk says Omega. Yes, Kirk talked the wrong computer to death this time. That's true. Reminds me of the Bad Batch with the New Zealand accents and the character Omega.
Yeah.
How many times has Spock done the forget thing on Kirk? Every surely. We think it's We think he might be problematic. I don't know. I think it might be problematic. It's quite ambiguous about what forget meant since it was the last line of the episode, and of course there was no follow-up. Well, yeah, but we do get this, like, it's kind of cool that there's a forget and a remember command.
Right,
Like,
right.
like,
I love that.
yeah.
I love that you can connect those. Totally unintentional, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know for a fact that Spock erased all memory of Reyna. He could have just meant to help Kirk forget the intensity of the pain he felt.
He only made him
Still-
forget the carom game they played, where Reyna took him to school.
And Ulysses says, so I think Spock just made Kirk forget the depth of his feelings rather than her very existence. That's possible as well. So he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, I slept it off. Like I feel better."
Yeah, because
I
he
like
can't
that.
make her forget her entirely. Because like then he'd have to make him forget the whole
mission. Yeah.
And then there's like logs that you have to do for Starfleet. No,
Could you imagine it going,
it's
up,
like Spock
going up
goes
to
on
the
this-
Admiral?
Spock
up to the
goes on
Admiral.
this like conspiracy theory road to like cover up this whole thing so that Kirk never feels the pain again.
Going to the Admiral. Kirk, this report. I don't know what you mean, sir. I really don't know what you mean. I have no knowledge of
I
this.
didn't write this.
Really, no knowledge. Wasn't me.
Jill says, I'm going to go into withdrawal symptoms when we run out of TOS episodes for Saturday chats, but we're going to go into the animated series, so it's not, we're not
Yeah,
out
so
of
it's
this,
like more
era.
TOS, except
Yeah.
just half as long.
Not a wingman, but a forget man. Oh my. Reyna may have had
If this were after dark, there'd be so many jokes with that forget thing.
Reyna may have had the best hair / wig in all of 2S this week. Thoughts? I didn't notice it that much. I got to
Oh,
look
her hair
back
was
at her
great.
hair.
Yeah,
Let me
it
go
was.
look at her.
You could see it one bit. You could see where it's at the back. You could see where her dark hair's starting to come through.
It's intense. I was trying to get it done because I have a wig long enough to do it, but I couldn't get the thing to stay up. My wife's not
Really,
here
I
to
feel
help.
like Yeoman Rand's beehive is cooler than Reyna's hair.
No.
I don't know.
No,
I see a
like
side
Reyna's
view.
hair.
Interesting.
All
Yeah,
hair
like-
has been made irrelevant thanks to Christopher Pike on Stranger Worlds, who has the most amazing hair of any character I've ever seen on television.
It's going to look different in season 2, I think, based on some pictures I've seen of Vincent Mount lately.
That's when I'm going to start my channel and start ranting about Shrek. What are you doing, Kurtzman?
changing his hair.
What have you done to
Bring
Pike's
Pike's hair back.
So we know what everyone thought about Forget, but what did you guys think of this episode overall? Why don't you go first, Ruben?
Yeah, this episode was weird because when I started it, I was like, almost like, have I ever even watched this episode before? I couldn't remember anything about it except for for Reyna. And then I watched the episode, and I liked a lot of parts. Like, I loved Reyna's kind of breakdown. I called it her lull moment because it reminded me of, like, I feel that whole thing. And, like, I love that moment where she captures her independence and, like, and she's just like, I'm going to, like, freaking choose here and whatever. I loved all that. And the escalation of the threats was actually pretty good because at first they go down because they're sick. And then the guy's like, basically, you're my prisoner, I guess. I don't know. It's a really weird relationship at first, and I can kill you all. Then he shrinks the Enterprise, which that was a great moment, too, because it reminded me randomly. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this movie, but it's called Zapped, and it stars Scott Baio and Willie
I
Ames.
100% agree with you.
And
on
in
that.
that movie, Scott Baio has telekinetic powers, and at one point, to mess with his dog, he takes control of a spaceship model in his room, and the model is a Millennium Falcon turned backwards with 2 Enterprise nacelles coming out of it. And I don't know why that whole sequence just popped in my head, because there's a moment where they cut inside the ship, even though it makes no sense in the movie, and you see the crew, and they're basically making fun of Star Trek. There's this guy with big old ears and whatever, and they're coming at the dog, and it's like, I was like, oh my god, Zapped with Scott Baio. But anyway, that was
That movie's a marijuana fever dream.
yeah, must have been. Or maybe when you're telekinetic, you just hallucinate too. I don't know.
It's true.
It's not a good movie. I do not recommend it. But yeah, that was weird because I liked the Reyna parts. I liked the escalation of the threat. It was the season 3 episode that wasn't really a bottle episode. Like seemed like they had multiple rooms, or maybe the same room just kind of redecorated. But like, They had like a couple of places. They had the pool table room with the piano. Then there's that weird moment where they start dancing and Spock's playing piano. But on the other hand, it's like you really got to buy into Kirk falling in love with this woman for it to really work. And they don't sell that well at all. So I think it's kind of a weird episode. It's just weird. It has some cool ideas. Made me think of about a lot of stuff. But like the nature of love and different types of love, like that line at the end where Spock's like, Kirk, she loved you, Kirk, but she also loved you, and it was like God, I mean, they didn't really go too deep into it, but it was an interesting things to think about. Episode overall, it wasn't a boring episode either. I'll give it that. It kind of has a good pace to it. But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird episode.
So it's a weird.
It has some weird moments. Yeah,
kind of what we expected at season 3, according to the myths of season 3. But yeah, what did you think, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that Ruben said. Really much. I mean, there's a couple of things that got me, that he was basically calling human beings savages, but it was Flint that was doing, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Yeah, I'm going to kill you."
He was the threatening one from the start.
it was him doing all the threatening. I mean, yeah. I mean, the couple of things I took away, that offspring, this is again with Lowell, because you say I can love, and then she just collapses and everything else. So I really got that bit. But my takeaway at the end is McCoy really just does not get Spock. I know they're the best of friends, but he just does not get Spock. To turn around and rant and say you don't know, you don't have feelings, you don't have that. No, we all know that Vulcans do have feelings. They do know love. They do all this. They choose to suppress them. And I thought for that bit, McCoy just doesn't get Vulcans, and he doesn't get Spock.
Or he's trying to antagonize him on purpose to make him kind of think about it.
The way it comes up, because it was truly, he was saying, because the one person I feel sorry for is you, because you won't have this and you won't have that. And I'm thinking, you just don't get him. That was my take on it from it there. And because I mean, Spock, near the start of it, Spock says, "Oh, I'm going to have an emotion that are never there," and it was envy, because of all the paintings and all this. Yeah.
Oh, I like that scene where he drinks the brandy. That's right.
McCoy. Oh, I'll drink to that one. He's gonna. Can we deal with a drunk Vulcan, and all that type of stuff, which was quite funny. But yeah, I mean, it was well paced. There was a lot of things you think, okay, I'm really not getting, and there was a few things a bit out of whack. M4 is part of Nomad again. Use half of Nomad.
That's right.
But yeah, no, it was an okay episode, and it was enjoyable, and I was seeing a few parallels with some other episodes.
Fathery.
What even is brandy? I'm not even really sure what that is.
It's
brandy is made more from grapes and fruit. I don't like whiskey, but I like brandy.
So is it more like,
does it
taste more like wine or more like whiskey?
It's more of a fermented wine than anything else.
The brandies I've had have a alcohol, like a spirits flavor rather than a wine flavor.
I mean, it is a spirits, but it is a totally different taste to like whiskey or anything like that. Because it's from fruit. It's more fruit based than.
It has a high alcohol content, because isn't brandy what you pour on stuff to set it on fire, like cakes and fruits and stuff?
I personally drink. If you had gave me a choice between brandy or whiskey, I drink brandy. I don't like whiskey, but I like brandy.
Interesting.
I'll have to try brandy at some point. I don't know, none of the bars here serve brandy, or maybe I just don't go to the classy places.
You can just go down to the brandy
ask,
wine.
Just ask for have a Napoleon brandy, and you'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Oh,
never heard of that before, but I'll try ordering it.
I'm gonna try the same.
But this episode it is very unusual. It is very weird. It kind of has too many different ideas going on at the same time. I think the story of this recluse who wanted to live on this planet all to himself and build a robot wife, and also oh, like this dude who is an immortal and was all these famous historical characters throughout the years, and also like, oh, the Enterprise trying to get the cure for this Rigelian plague virus and deal with this. I guess they're trying to like barter for that or like ask permission for that, and they just kind of feel like a bunch of different ideas. I like a lot of times when Star Trek is like really weird. I think it works and it's like real beautiful and interesting. Here, I think it never really like comes together. This episode really needed like Gene Coons to come in and figure out like the heart and soul of the episode, and then build everything else to flesh that one part out and kind of give it a satisfying ending. But you know, there is a definite decline in the quality of writing and in season 3, and you could argue it starts as soon as, you know, the second half of season 2 after Coons departed the show. So, but there are good things I like. Like I really love the Spock ending. I've always read like that ending of, you know, Dr. McCoy talking to him. Is like I think Dr. McCoy is very judgmental about. You know, this idea of like, you know, trying to live without emotions and like just like rejecting all. I think Dr. McCoy is like very like judgmental about that, and Jill pointed out in the chat a second ago that like McCoy does kind of go pretty brutal against Spock, but Spock does it back a lot too. So they're both actually like it's weird and kind of like racist how McCoy will describe Vulcans sometimes, but then also how like Spock will be like, oh well, we're so superior to you weak humans, and you know, it's so hard to deal with all of you dumb humans and stuff like that. So there's a lot of it back and forth actually, but yeah, the Kirk love story. I don't know. I don't really buy this as like probably not even like in his top 5 most convincing loves of the entire show. Right. So I think, you know, you have Edith Keeler, you have what was his Indian wife, his Native American wife? I mean, Miyamani. So yeah, like I think he's had like some more devastational losses. But I like Spock trying to help him, and like Spock doesn't ask permission if he wants to help someone. He'll hijack the Enterprise to take Captain Pike to Talos 4. You know, if he wants to do something nice for you, he's just gonna do it.
He likes that surprise factor. It's like, that's funny. Cool. Well, you know, this episode for me fell flat. Last time I watched it was for TOS Saturday Night, and that was hilarious because most people were making jokes about it, and you know, there's a lot of room for that as well.
What was the best joke about it?
I think the best joke might have been
Flint's pantyhose.
No, I think it was around the forget scene or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to go see if we could find those. That was like over a year ago. Ruben's joke tonight about I was Tina Turner, I was Michael Jackson, that was probably funnier. I don't know if that joke's been told before. But I do remember some highlights, other highlights. By the way, Flint says robot, and I say that too. So I'm not the only myself and Mr. Rogers aren't the only ones who say robot instead of robot.
I told Starfleet Boy before the show that I was like, I don't even know why they needed to make him all those people. Like, I think it would have been more interesting if he was just so smart that he could mimic. He's like, I feel like writing a Brahms, you know, piece today, and just writes one because he's just that good. He's that immortal and smart and whatever, and that would have made him way more interesting than I'm all these people, but I'm also trying to be in hiding so that nobody knows I'm immortal. But if you're trying to be in hiding, being like some of the most famous people in the history of humankind is not really a good way to go about it. Like,
yeah, he was not very low profile at all.
Right.
But the other thing about, and he definitely doesn't look like Brahms, by the way. If you see a picture of Brahms, there's no way this guy was Brahms. Like Brahms,
there's no way he could be all those people. You know,
you know, they reference this episode in Voyager. Because Janeway had those Leonardo da Vinci programs on the holodeck, and she was like, you know, Kirk even claimed that he met him one time.
Kirk claimed. I like that they added that in there.
No one believes
he
him.
couldn't really remember the whole thing clearly, but he's
maybe.
Yeah, it was a little bit vague on it. Yeah.
But
I've just got visions after what Ruben said. Can you imagine it? Remember the Michael Jackson black and white video where all the faces morph? It's just Flint's face. It's just Flint's face. It keeps morphing into Flint's
he can
face.
just morph. But the other thing about this episode is that, like, I think that's what it is. Like, you guys kind of touched on this, is that I don't see Raina as being one of his fundamental loves. Like, I never bought their closeness, and even like the camera work during the sequence when they're dancing with each other, like, somehow it was jarring and creepy. It didn't, like, what I mean, like, it came off as weird, like almost like in almost like when you're doing a horror movie, or like like it had that, like, I thought that there was something about that kind of like detracted from the romanticness and made it look like jarring in a way, which was weird.
Like, why is she the perfect woman?
Yeah,
like I get, like, okay, she was like designed mechanically to be like the perfect woman, but like, why? Like, what about her made Kirk fall so madly in love with her?
Right.
They could have explained maybe that she exuded some kind of like robotic pheromones or something like that. That like that like got into your head and made you bond with her.
So he had like nanoprobes in his brain telling him he's in love with her.
Exactly, like that kind of thing. That would have been interesting.
That would have made it like insincere. That kind of would have gone against the rest of it. But yeah, it doesn't work. That falls flat. I kind of like the performance, though. I think the actress did a good job of playing like this robot trying to figure out how to be a human.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I liked her, but again, still, just something about it didn't, it never connected for me.
It's also creepy.
It's also weird that she's like, he's at one point he says she's got like the equivalent of like 17 degrees or something like that. But then another moment, she's like, "What is loneliness?" Like, huh?
Yeah.
You should know at least the dictionary definition,
And she's kind of childlike in a creepy way. Like they kind of even present like Flint as like you think like that must be like his child or something. But then like he's kissing her behind doors and stuff, and so she always tries to play it with like kind of like that childlike innocence and I guess like kind of naive, and she always has like that doughy look on her face, but but the dude actually like made her to be his wife, and probably, like, not to be too crude, but probably like a bit of a sex robot also. So it's kind of weird to present that as like
a sex doll, yeah.
Yeah, so it's, for that to be presented as like father and daughter with like the
That's so creepy.
perhaps the age gap is a little weird.
Like, do you?
It's just that's just got a little bit incestuous now, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean, it's weird. It's just weird because he wanted more, and he programmed her, so he could have really just programmed her.
This is what Leonardo da Vinci slash Brahms / Alexander the Great does in his free time when he's just like on a planet with nothing else to do.
Cherry 2000. That's a great movie reference.
I forgot about Cherry 2000. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
So Melanie Griffith's early film, I believe. One of the first. Melanie Griffith, is that right?
It's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. That's an old saying, but a good one. That is true.
That's kind of, I like that attitude in Starfleet and Star Trek. Like, yeah, sometimes, regulations be damned. You got to steal the Enterprise and go rescue Spock. So.
But it's poignant. It's kind of poignant, though, because Spock is making him forget something, kind of like what Cybok does to people, which is interesting in and of itself. That's maybe what Cybok is probably using this Vulcan ability to release the pain from people. But it's kind of heartbreaking when you hear Kirk talk about how he needs his pain. And it's like Spock's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have taken it away. Kirk's like,
yeah. When Kirk is like I need my pain, and Spock is just gonna be like,
Whoops.
Oops.
Oops.
Let me give you a whole bunch of it back, buddy.
Oh, that would be even. Oh my god, that's even more sad if
And
Spock.
Super Saiyan Kirk.
That's actually sad. That's actually heartbreaking if Spock retains it, though. Like that, he's actually strong enough because he's strong enough with his Vulcan. You know that he retains.
Like a mushroom absorbs the flavor of whatever you cook it with. So it'd be like Spock absorbs like the painful emotions from other people.
I wonder if he ever uses it on himself. Like if he has a really bad night, nobody knows. He got super drunk and went out partying, and he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, no way, bro!"
That's so embarrassing. I can't believe I did that. Forget.
We have Joel saying.
How many times did he use that on Christian Chapel? Then
Kirk wouldn't have died on that bridge if he had more pain. Oh, jeez, it's true.
Yeah, he would have picked that bridge up and thrown it across that canyon and hit the torpedo launcher.
Wolf in the Fold, that entity was a bunch of different people, serial killers, Red Jack. That's right.
Yeah, what if Red Jack and Flint met each other on Earth one time? Just hanging out in a bar or something.
I liked Flint's iMac. His little screen that he was using.
I meant to point that out too. Yeah, it was like a flat screen TV or a flat screen TV.
Yeah,
actually,
screen,
it looks like Star Trek may have predicted flat screen televisions, which is pretty cool. So yeah, but it was weird. It was on like a dresser drawer, right, or something. Like it was sitting on just like you would see in someone's house, maybe, or something like that. It's like a TV sitting there.
I didn't like the Enterprise shot in the beginning of the show when it's kind of going by the camera. It looked very CG to me, but the city shots, those landscape shots of those are really nice. Those are really
do you know why they recreated all those in the re-release of TOS? Because originally those were all reused shots of the matte painting that's in the cage of Pike, Jeffrey Hunter Pike, running around on a Rigel 9 or 7 or whatever, Rigel 2, whichever Rigel planet. Speaking of Rigelian stuff.
Right.
But yeah, that's where him and Vina were hiding from that Genghis Khan looking dude. He's throwing spears at him and stuff. So they replaced that with the CGI shots when they did the re-release to make it a little different. It's odd because they use that in the end credits a lot, so people are really used to seeing the the Rigel castle. Yeah. So but season 3 short on money, they're like, we'll just reuse that matte painting.
Jill says the TV didn't always look like that, so it was remastered.
They digitally
altered that, for sure. I assumed it was an effect, so no, okay, from back then, because they could do that, make a flat looking thing and put a projection of a video on there or something like that. But so what did it look like? Just like a regular television?
I think it was boxier, if I remember correctly.
Oh wow.
I haven't watched the original.
You're gonna have to dig your Blu-ray out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I've seen the re-releases more than the originals, I think. So I really need to stop watching them and go back to the originals. I don't want to lose my my knowledge of the originals. I need to refresh all of that stuff in my brain.
Yeah, I have a little hard drive with all the original TOS episodes on it.
You just carry it with you
I tend to watch both, but for some reason I watched the remastered twice.
I mean, there's not a ton different in this one, so it's not going to matter too much. But
no,
yeah,
I mean the
those
differences
are the only
here are usually mostly obvious. So, a
yeah,
lot of the Enterprise shots and stuff.
Well, I have nothing else about this.
Let me see. Let me check my notes here. Hold on. Oh, I do want to say, I feel sorry for you, Spock. I want Spock to be like, you know what? F you, bro. How about you kiss my Vulcan ass, bro?
Can you imagine if only you knew?
Just weird that we watch it this week. It kind of ties into Strange New Worlds a little bit, because in that episode there's a flashback to Spock saying I love you in Vulcan to Michael from Such Sweet Sorrow Part 2 in Discovery Season 2. And so, he might have been thinking of that when McCoy is talking about, you don't know what it's like to love. And
I like that.
The computer program, spoilers for Strange New Worlds, but the computer program that Spock develops to repurpose the Navcom sonar thing, use it to scan for enemy ships. He called that program, I think he calls it Da Vinci 7. And so, he might have been thinking of that when McCoy is talking about, you don't know what it's like to love. And the computer program that Spock develops to repurpose the Navcom sonar thing, use it to scan for enemy ships. He called that program, I think he calls it Da Vinci 7.
Yeah, Vinci
So-
7. He calls it just Vinci 7.
Okay,
Yeah, but it could be a
named
reference.
after Leonardo.
Yeah,
So, and then like, oh, in a few
Well-
years you're gonna meet that dude.
that's a lot less of a stretch than tying it into aliens.
Dave is convinced that they ripped off
I could
aliens
see-
for that episode.
I don't think they ripped it off. I could see his points that there were some alien-like references, but
There
not-
definitely are. There
In,
definitely are. But
Strange
yeah.
New Worlds episode 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's like
Yeah.
a Frankenstein episode. Are you kidding me? They ripped off like I don't want to say ripped off. That,
But we're
that
not
gives
here
it
to
a
talk
negative
about that. That's tomorrow.
connotation.
That's tomorrow. Don't talk
But
about
yeah,
it.
it's like
too much.
a- They
All I'm going to
borrowed
say
plenty.
is, I watch. I don't know if you do you watch Sean Ferrick's Ups and Downs.
I do try to. Yes.
Yeah, and he has a fair point. Why on earth didn't he do that in the Wrath of Khan?
Do what?
What he did in the Brown Stibbit with the Gorn. Why didn't he do that in Wrath of Khan?
You mean to go
Why
down
didn't he do
into
it
the depths?
in the Mutara Nebula?
Because
in
the
Why didn't he
Mutara
do that?
Nebula might not have had the same gravitational thing. Though,
I know, but it
I
was
know.
there, and you see, but it was there. You would think, oh, do you remember when? Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I think he was thinking of this incident though in the Mutara Nebula because it is very similar. You're right about that. Like it is a very similar maneuver. Like to go sauce for the goose, to go into a place
sauce
where
for the goose.
Yeah, to go into a place where it levels everyone out, which is really cool. So yeah.
M4 versus M5 is when it's Da Vinci. I know I'm saying it wrong. I get a lot of my Italian words. Like, is it Michael Giacchino or Michael Giacchino? I can never remember. I never remember how to say a lot of that stuff.
I think it's Giacchino, isn't it?
It's
Giacchino.
Giacono.
Giacchino.
Don't give me another
Third one in
option.
there.
It's Michelle Giacono.
We do have some questions here. What else were the Flint and Reyna actors in? Let me pull that up
Good
on
question.
IMDb here. Hold on, let's see here.
They both did a good job. I liked
Reyna was
the
great.
Flint dude performance. You know, like when he's remembering like the bubonic plague, and he's just like closes his eyes. He's like, oh yeah, that really freaking sucked when that happened.
the rats. He
Even
describes
the rats were dying. Even the rats were dying.
Like before they revealed
died.
that he's everyone all at once.
Yeah, I mean,
And I was thinking he was like this super genius. I was like, what an interesting, like, kind of recurring, not villain, because he wasn't really a villain, right? He wasn't an outright villain.
Yeah.
But, like, what an interesting recurring kind of semi-antagonist this could have been, you know? Because he's so interesting,
Yeah.
and he's just like everybody. And I'm like,
Yeah, definitely an antagonist, and like that's a good point, Ruben. I want to point out something there, but like I love stories when the antagonist isn't the driving force of the story. Like in the age of all these superheroes movies and stuff, and I like a lot of them, but most of them are about like, oh look, like this villain comes into power and they're gonna go do like their evil plan, and the hero has to rise up to stop them. But in like the traditional sense of an antagonist, this is like your protagonist is just like a guy or a person who's gonna try to accomplish something, and the antagonist is just a character who functions as an obstacle for your protagonist, and that's really like kind of how they use Flint here initially. He's like, okay, we need this cure for the virus, but to get it, we have to go through this dude who just wants to be left alone and has like this creepy castle with his robo daughter / wife.
hey, it's a oh my god, another daughter captured by a character on Star Trek. This has been a theme since TOS. Soon wasn't the first, and neither was Mbenga.
So James Daly, I think it's pronounced, or Daly, perhaps it's Daly. He's most famous thing that I see here is Planet of the Apes. He plays an Honorius, one of the characters named Honorius. I don't remember that.
In the TV show or the movie?
The movie, 1968.
I think it's.
must have been one of the apes?
He's one of the apes in there, and I think it's the bit where Taylor. It's when they're in like the. He's being judged.
The courtroom.
The courtroom. Yeah, I think it's in there.
Okay. Yeah, there's
Yes.
a bunch of apes in there that had
it's-
speaking
yeah.
parts.
Aside from that, he has 87 acting credits, so he was very prolific. And
He died
Louis
very young as
Sorel
well.
was
He
in,
died in his. He was about 50. He was in his late 50s. when he
59.
died.
He died in 1978,
I
July
don't know
3rd.
what Beacon Hill is, but it's a web series. But Louis Sorel was in that in 2020.
Oh yeah, it shows her. Yeah, so she's mostly soap operas, but she was in Airplane 2, the sequel. She played the nurse.
Yeah.
Is she the nurse that likes to? Wait, no, that's Ferris Bueller, right?
Well, I think there's a nurse in each movie though.
Well,
in each airplane
There's
movie.
yeah, but
The nurse that likes to, she's in Ferris Bueller's. Because I'm here to restore your pluck. Okay, never mind. Sorry. That was a little too digressing there. But yeah, Louise Sorel's been in a ton of soap operas. So there we go. So they both...
Okay, and she's still alive.
She is still alive, yep. And she was born in 1940.
Her birthday's a day before mine.
But it's so sad that it's like almost every week someone who worked on the original series dies. It's just like constant now.
Yeah, well, yeah. We're at that time of... That time. We're at that age, I guess.
That time.
Yeah. And then
don't tell me about time.
in about 5 years.
Time is the fire in which we burn.
In about 5 years, the only ones that are going to be left are going to be like the little kids from Miri and the little kids from the Shower Curtain Man episode.
And the children shall lead.
And the children shall lead,
The Shower Curtain Man episode.
Yeah, all the other adults. I hate to say it, but yeah, like 5 years from now, they ain't gonna be around.
Ulysses is asking us a Strange New Worlds question. So, do you all think Kirk is going to make an appearance in Strange New Worlds as a lieutenant on the USS Farragut? We don't know.
It looks like season 2. He's a captain, isn't he? He's a captain in season 2.
We don't know anything.
I know a lot of things, but
Father knows, but he can't say. Damn, Father, you getting that juice?
We ain't even halfway done with season 1. Why y'all want to talk about season 2?
I ain't talking about it. Don't
want to talk about season 2.
It's Ulysses.
You got to live in the moment.
Absolutely.
Jill says, I love how these guys are throwing Strange New World references in with TOS references like it's a real show and part of the lore. Yay, it is, damn it.
Yeah.
It is. Don't listen to Ruben. I don't know what Ruben says.
I haven't said anything.
I don't know what Ruben says about Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, well, actually, there was. I saw a joke on TikTok the other day, and it was talking about the 3 levels of Star Trek. And he said, "There's the one that will be if you're flicking the TV and Star Trek comes on, you'll finish and watch it. That's a Trekker. And then you've got the people like us that are Trekkies. And then he said, then there's the people who think Star Trek are real. They're called Scientologists."
That's pretty funny.
Maybe
I think
Flint
Star Trek is
Xenu
real.
Too. The god
What's
of
that?
Scientology. Flint was Xenu too. The god of
Oh, he was
Scientology.
Xenu. Jeez.
He could have been L. Ron Hubbard. He should have listed off both. He's like, I was Jackie Gleason on the Honeymooners. I was sci-fi author and inventor of Scientology.
You ever
L.
seen
Ron
that
Hubbard.
one episode of Wagon Train? I was the guy in the wagon.
I can't believe how much mileage we got out of
Guys, it was just so ridiculous. It's like, why is it even necessary? Like, why do you have to be? You're already immortal and like super smart and created an android. You're also all these awesome people. So like, humans just suck, and you're the best thing ever.
I was Charlie Chaplin.
I can't believe how much mileage we're getting off of Flint being everyone in history. That's really funny.
Our man Flint.
He's like, I was also Helen Keller. Like, fuck.
He was
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Oh my god, he could have been Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I'm
actually.
Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I think we're jumping the shark on this one. Uncle Arthur's here and he says Star Trek is real reality. Yes, Star Trek is real for me. I agree.
We're actually all figments of somebody's holodeck program.
Computer
just a
end
glitch in the
program.
Matrix.
We just don't know it. Yeah, none of us have become self-aware like Moriarty.
Do we need to smoke some wacky stuff to get into the right mood when you guys discuss the next one, The Way to Eden?
Is that the next? Is the next one
yeah.
the Cloud Miners?
Is it?
No, it's
Hold on.
no.
Oh, The Way to
it's
Eden.
Way
Okay,
to
okay.
Eden.
Yeah.
Cool. You know, I really like that
it.
episode.
Me too. I like
We're
it.
going to reach next week. Next
That's
week.
one of my
we're
favorite
gonna
episodes of all time.
What is it? It's like this.
We're gonna reach. We're gonna reach, brother.
Enough to Eden.
Yay,
brother.
Oh man, will I be
The grass is full of acid. That ain't the only thing that's full of acid.
Oh my gosh, I never realized that before today. I never realized that before today.
Take some
All right.
LDS.
So I'll wrap this episode up first. We went to 45 minutes, so I'm pretty happy with that. By the time we end, it'll be at 47.
Oh, but we should talk about things to come. Like we have the Way to Eden, the Cloud Miners after that. I like both of those. I think the Savage Curtain's gonna have some fun stuff to talk about. There's a lot of like really big cameos. Sirach, Kalis, all kinds of famous people showing up there.
Oklahoma Kalis, right? Like, isn't that what Larry Nemechek calls him? Like Kalis with an Oklahoma accent, or someone said that. I forget who.
I ain't never heard. Well, Larry's from Oklahoma, so he would know. But
I should ask Larry about Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Like, if I asked on Twitter if anyone's ever been there or knows about it.
One of my favorite Star Trek Las Vegas memories is getting in a bar argument with Larry Nemechek over which state has the better panhandle, Oklahoma or Texas.
Or Florida has a panhandle.
Y'all didn't even come up in the discussion.
No, because we're already the best. You guys were battling for number 2.
By the way, Flint was Kalis too, says Joe.
No, I don't like Florida Panhandle.
Oh yeah, they should have had Flint show up in that episode. Like, hey, remember me?
And he just unzips himself. And he's Flint.
Oh my!
Meet my new girlfriend. I mean, student.
Good
Daughter. Whatever.
I've got it now. Flint shaved his head and he was Dr. Evil.
Well, I was originally going to give this episode a 5, but I have to say this discussion has raised my esteem just a little bit, so I'm going to give this episode a 6. It was good. I don't know if I would watch it again necessarily. Like, it might be one of those episodes that if it's on, I'll go watch another.
For our next rewatch in 10 years.
But yeah, or till then. But it does have a good
be
moment.
looking like yours, Ruben.
I do like all the takes on Spock, and I think I think of it as less cringy after this discussion. I do think he was definitely genuinely trying to like help his friend forget. Spock just needs to learn about permission. That's
about
all,
consent.
Yeah. Consent. Yeah. That's like
that wasn't as big
Enterprise. That's my new headcanon.
Just culturally, I think consent wasn't as something we were as culturally aware of in the past as we are now.
It's true, and also I think that Vulcans perhaps ask for consent telepathically, and that could be a way to headcanon in what's happening. So maybe when you initially mind meld, there's like a little. Like a waiver that you mentally sign, like a waiver that pops up
and user agreement.
You mentally sign it, and it's all good to go. So like that could be it.
I think Spock keeps his facade of being cool and calm, but he's really a crazed party animal on the Enterprise, and he just goes around forget. He's like, yeah, forget.
Wow.
Oh, I'm cool, bro.
Ruben After Dark starts up again in a few weeks on Saturday nights. Just FYI, I know it seems like you're missing it. Anyways, but Ruben, what would you give this episode? Final thoughts on it?
Final thoughts. I mean, I don't know. It was a weird episode because on the one hand, I sort of liked it. There were lots of things I liked, and like I said, the pacing and escalation were good, so it doesn't get boring. It's just a very peculiar episode. It has some weird things, like a lot of canon issues if you're into that. The different types of love I already mentioned before and stuff like that. I like that stuff, but yeah, it's also not a very good episode, and you really have to buy into Kirk's insta love with this woman for some reason. I mean, she's cool and all, and I love smart women, but like, I mean, you guys spend more than like 2 hours together to figure it out. But so yeah, I give this episode a 10. But I'm going to make everyone forget that I gave it a score at all.
Thank you, Snoopy.
I got to go now because I'm recording my new album as Katy Perry.
Bye.
I thought you were going to be Miley Cyrus.
That's next week, yeah.
Ian, why don't you tell us what you...
It feels like there's no one on earth who's just that one guy.
Ian, why don't you tell us what you thought next? But before that, thank you, Snoopy McQueen. What a nice compliment. We are so
thank
glad
you,
you're
thank
enjoying
you,
the
Snoop.
show.
Always
Thanks,
glad to
Snoop.
see you in the audience.
Well, she's giving your show a 4 out of 10. That's terrible.
We're obviously way too happy, like laughing and joking way too much.
Ian, what'd you think?
I don't. Yeah, I think we've. There's not a lot really I can add to it. I think we've covered all the bases on this one. I was still sick. It's the Offspring. McCoy doesn't get Spock. Those type of bits. I'm going to give it a 5. I can't give it any more. I tried, but I just can't.
All right. That's fair is fair. What about you, Father? Finish off our roundtable here with some thoughts and final thoughts and a fun rating if you want.
Well, at the end of the day, not a good episode, but I love Star Trek. I love the original series especially, and a big part of that comes from my fondness of these characters and the actors and the performances they give. It's always fun to watch Shatner's Kirk, Nimoy's Spock, and DeForest Kelly's McCoy. And so I can't never complain too much about spending 50 minutes hanging out with them and seeing their adventures in space. The other actors, the guest stars, we all agreed, they were pretty good too. But yeah, just a bunch of interesting ideas that don't come together well and don't really make a satisfying story. But at no point does it ever make me groan too much, to ever roll my eyes too much. It's like, oh, I can't bear this. I can't watch it anymore. I'm never totally bored. So not a good episode, but I enjoy getting a little extra helping of TOS whenever I can. I would give it a very low rating of 100 other names you haven't heard of out of an M4.
An M4 robot. Very nice. Ruben, what's going on in your neck of the woods? How can folks follow you and find you?
Follow me on Twitter at rmartian, where I post interviews with film and TV industry professionals. I haven't put up one in a while, but I have a bunch that I need to get through. Just too many projects happening at the same time. Yeah, and that's about it. I'm excited. I'm going to the Galapagos in 2 weeks.
Ooh,
fun.
Once
Very
in a lifetime
fun.
Very
trip.
nice.
That is
I'm
really
gonna kill
cool.
myself a tortoise.
I'm
kidding.
Oh, you should. But I was also Darwin.
Yeah, I was Darwin.
I was also Darwin.
I was also one of the Bee Gees.
I was 2 out of the 3 Hanson brothers.
Oh my goodness.
I'll say one thing. This episode should get a +1 point from everybody just because we've made a lot of great jokes from this one thing. We have milked that cow.
But it's endless jokes. You could just randomly from now on, whenever we say, but I was also so-and-so.
I seriously thought of the Whitney Houston song. I'm every woman. It's all in me.
I was captain of the NX-01 Enterprise, Jonathan Archer.
Oh my god. It's endless fun with Flint. Folks, Text Trek has reached one of their milestones. They're at 803 subscribers, so they're on their way to their next milestone, which is 900
we were at
subscribers.
805 when I went to bed last night.
Oh, 805.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, maybe I saw it before you last night.
You went one episode too far for 2 users.
I guess, yeah.
It happens. It's ups and downs. But anyways, that means you're on your next milestone to the road to 1,000, which is to get to 900. So if you guys aren't already subscribed to Text Trek, please consider subscribing. Subscribe to us. Also, they did a great show last night. A lot of fun. I was laughing at Dave trying to prove his aliens theory the whole night, which is really fun.
Oh, I gotta watch this. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to agree with him now.
Yeah, I think he proved his
Aliens
point.
is what? Because of the atmospheric processor in the beginning?
He had a laundry list of.
Sorry, I'll watch the episode. We should
Yeah, you
bring it
gotta
up. I'll
go.
watch
You
the
gotta
episode.
see it. You gotta
Yeah,
see it.
well, maybe we need to reach out to the writer of that episode, Davey Perez, and politely ask if aliens was an influence.
Hey, Dave, stick together. So don't tell him that a Dave came up with a theory. So just just be like, just like put it out there. But I'm sure I don't know. It was very compelling. He even went so far as to say that like if Davey Perez says no, that he's lying, which I thought was great. he's like no. I'm so convinced of this. So yeah, lots of fun. What else is going on Text Trek? Can you tell our audience anything else I might have left out?
Well, we just do our live show every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central on YouTube, where we are discussing the latest episodes of Star Trek. Right now, it's a new Strange New Worlds every week. But when Strange New Worlds is over, we're going to be talking about whatever show is next. We're also going to be returning to Deep Space Nine and doing some more Deep Space Nine talk, picking up where we left off. So we're going to be going into season 5. We're going to be switching from the Voyager-looking uniforms to the First Contact-looking uniforms, and there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about there. You got some Tribble action and all kinds of fun stuff with Klingons and the Dominion, so we'll have that on the horizon. But also, later in the year, we'll be doing more Lower Decks, more Prodigy, and eventually we'll get back around to Picard and Discovery. So yeah, basically whatever is coming out, we will talk about. You can also listen to our show wherever you get your podcast, and you can find me and Starfleet Boy on Sundays on the Trek Central YouTube channel, doing the live show over there.
That's right. Oh, and Joel wants to know, does Fathery have his Trek Central hat yet? The people want to know.
Not yet, but I am patiently awaiting the day I will don. One day, me and Starfleet Boy, I don't know where, I don't know when, but we will meet in person again and don our Trek Central hats together and do we'll do the secret Trek Central handshake.
Well, if I'm ever there, I'll bring my cap as well, because I've got a Trek Central cap as well.
But everyone go check out Trek Central tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central Time, and 9 p.m. UK time. Yes, exactly. So that's tomorrow. Excellent, Fathery. And then we go to our wonderful Dadmiral, who's got... I really love that.
Yeah, obviously you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, Dadmiral_UK, and my YouTube channel. I've literally today I've done a couple of small builds. I've done this little thing here.
Ooh, it's a D Deradex. Let me get you up here.
The Deradex, and there you go. The Deradex.
Lovely green colors.
Yeah.
Lovely green, and it's odd that Fathery was mentioning it, but we've got the Voyager, which does actually, if you do that, so you actually have to walk the cells that do move as well.
Very nice.
So yeah, so you got that one. So these are going to be coming up on my channel this week. And speaking to what Fathery said, I am doing a bigger build, and it is.
Whoa! Oh, look at that.
So I'll be doing
nice
Enterprise, and
Very
I will be
cool.
comparing it to this little
that
thing
one
here. So that thing. So that's one thing it won't do. The cells that light up. So yeah, I'll be looking at that one. So look out for the Voyager and the Deradex, and the big TOS Enterprise, and then I also have the Enterprise D to do later. But yeah, I'll still be doing a lot of the smaller ones as well. So people have asked me whether I'm going to do a video of this one yet, and I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to do it, but I can always take it apart and film a video on it. But
right on.
We'll see.
Cool. Well, everyone check out Dadmiral_UK, and a lot of fun stuff going on. Very cool.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to say, if you've been in the chat, don't forget to like the video.
Ah, yes.
Like and
Thank you.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe,
Yeah,
please.
like and subscribe.
Confound that algorithm.
The algorithm.
Does anybody
Yes.
know what happened to the mini Enterprise that Flint made when he shrunk the Enterprise down? Does that model still exist somewhere?
I got that under my bed last I saw. I don't know. I'd have to...
You're
Antonia,
Flint, aren't you? You're Flint.
do you know where the miniature Enterprise from Requiem for Methuselah is? Okay, we'll have to look for it, but I think I got it around here somewhere.
Oh wow, right on.
I think you're Flint.
Father is actually Flint.
Yes. Okay. I am Flint.
We figured it out.
I'm also fathery of Tex Trek.
There was a series of Flint movies in the 60s that he was also in
Owlman
as
Flint.
himself. Yeah, yes, exactly.
In like
Flint,
Flint.
in like Flint, and Owlman Flint.
That's right. So those are
Brilliant films. And also, I'd like to say Flint was the dog on the planet this week as well in Strange New Worlds.
And I was also Fred Flintstone.
Anything that has Flint in it. Well, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for our Strange New Worlds discussion here at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then followed by Trek Central as we talked about. I'm so excited. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Live long and prosper, and we will see you next time.